We're in the Bronx with my mother, Gloria Fontanez. What I want to talk about is when did you see that I had desires to even do martial arts?
Well, when you were very young, it was like 3 years old. I used to always see you kicking and punching the radiator. And I used to say, there's something wrong with this child. He's always kicking and punching the radiator. And I didn't know that it was that he just had it in him, the fighting and all those skills. He was extremely young. And then, all of a sudden, I noticed that the martial arts shows.
You know what it was? I was watching Agent 99, chopping people in the neck, and Captain Kirk and 007. And to me, and even Hong Kong Phooey, #1 super guy. So to me, that was my first influences, and I wanted to do karate. Plus, I don't know why, but for some reason, I remember, even though I never lived with him, he had mentioned that my father was into karate.
Yeah, he did some martial arts when he was in school. And boxing also. So
right, so that's why to me, now boxing I wasn't allowed to do.
No.
Because, why you don't want me to box?
I don't know, I like boxing, but I just didn't, I just like the martial arts because you have a combination of kicking and punching. You can use both. Why just limit yourself to just punching? Well, you could also use your legs.
So when I officially when I officially went to a karate school, it was over at Tiger Kim's, Sang-Soo Tiger Kim School in Fontanez. Why of all schools? Why that school?
Well, I chose that school, one, because it was #1 school during the time. And also because when I went in, I liked the way the surroundings, the people there, the instructor was a person that, yeah, he was a professional, and also that he was in good shape. He was well, to me, he looked like a bodybuilder.
Yeah, back then, right? And no one was doing stuff like that.
I don't know what he was, but I know that he looked good.
Yeah, Tiger Kim was he was in ultimate shape. Plus, then I remember right after we joined.
Discipline. I love the discipline. Everybody was so disciplined and yes, ma'am. And you know, when I went to the office, they were so polite, and I liked that. And that's what I wanted my son to be surrounded by those types.
April 19th, 1976, when I officially joined Tiger Kim, Sang-Soo Tiger Kim. And then the day after we actually joined, it was a Monday, the day after we saw Tiger Kim taking the train right here.
The escalators, he was in the escalator, he was in a suit and he was busting out of it. He was like so husky. Yeah, I remember that. That was a long time ago.
And I went to my first karate tournament in May of the same year.
It was a week, I think.
Yeah, 2 weeks after.
He didn't know anything. You know, and he went to compete. I said, okay. I think you got kicked in the neck. Yeah,
I got kicked in the throat. Yeah, first I scored my first point, and then the second point, the guy scored on me. I said, he didn't hit me, he didn't touch me. And then I ran in, I got kicked in the throat, and my mother made it into a racial thing. I remember that. No, but it was hilarious, but it was in Fordham University,
compete,
right? Then I remember I wanted to come back for the nighttime finals, and I went alone.
You did.
In the karate uniform.
Yes.
In my white...
It was a white belt. A white belt. But he wanted to do it. Why stop him, right? Something positive.
It was funny because I think there was people in our family that were like, "Why Tuti?" My mother's nickname was Tuti. Why you letting him do karate? Because he was a sick kid. No, let's talk about that.
He could get hurt. Don't you see that Jerry was born asthmatic. He had very bad asthma. He had a stain in his lung, and he was on very intense, medical treatments in Mount Sinai Hospital in Manhattan.
Yeah, we lived in Spanish Harlem.
And I didn't pay no mind. I said he likes it, he enjoys it. You know, that's what he likes to do. Why am I going to stop him? No.
How skinny was I?
He was very thin, but he always had legs. He was very thin. No chest, all puny, but legs. Always had nice big legs. And to me, he was born to do that. That was something that he always did since he was very tiny, like 3 years old. You see this child jumping around and doing all this crazy stuff. I didn't know why. He used to put the towel around here like he's Superman and flying all over the house and kicking and punching. I was like, maybe it's because he's an only child. Maybe he needs a brother.
No, today they call that ADHD, but back then we didn't.
That was having fun. That was having fun. That's being a child. Come on. You know, but hey, he would jump around. I bought him a little dog, a chihuahua, and he used to put a handkerchief on the chihuahua and throw.
Yeah, a super dog. And the dog, I remember the dog didn't want to go up the sofa. He was trying to hold on.
Oh, right,
so let's talk about the first Kung Fu movie. I went all the way.
Because of death. We
5
came
years.
from Harlem to the theater up there,
Lowest
Lowest
Paradise.
Paradise and Grand Concourse. Yes, that was a nice movie.
That was 1971, and then the TV show Kung Fu came out.
Kung Fu
And during the time they
Green
used to have,
Hornet.
during the time on TV,
That's when I noticed the Green Hornet. When he used to try and do everything that Bruce Lee did when he was very little. Yes.
it's funny because during that time it was Jerome Mackey, you know, karate, kung fu, that they had a TV commercial. I wanted to join Jerome Mackey, you know, but I wasn't able to join until my father actually was able to finance a deal while being in the federal penitentiary. But my mom said that is one of the things he wants to do.
Karate.
Right?
And I did it. I went to Tiger Kim, and he gave me a deal too, right?
Yeah.
I think I paid 2 months.
Yep, 2 months
Maybe
in
when I
advance.
would pay less.
Yeah, it was
something like that.
It was $60 for 2 months.
Wow, that was cheap, right?
1976. Well,
With
back
that
then.
quality, like the quality of karate that they used to teach. I mean, I would pay like much more than that right now. You
No,
know?
we went over and bought a karate uniform, but not from the school because the school's a little more expensive. So we went to Everlast. Everlast is right in the Bronx. It was on 3rd Avenue, and we got a off-white uniform.
Like bone color.
Yeah, it was a bold color off-white uniform, almost like the original judo uniforms.
Oh, Lord.
And then after some bleaching, it eventually got
Washing
white.
it.
Yeah, washing it. All right. So let's talk about when I started getting into the competition. I stopped martial arts for a while. Went to had a street fight. Got my nose broken, which wasn't cool. And I got really serious back in 1981 when it comes to karate.
That's because you wanted to do football.
Yeah, I was playing football. Broke my ankle in football. Got off of karate for a while, and then I was like the fly guy,
When
giving
came
girl.
back,
When
that's
I-
when we moved here from Holland Avenue. We used to live in Holland Avenue. We moved over here, and that's when he got serious with the martial arts. Really serious.
What I was going to ask you is, do you want the dog in the video that she's petting?
Oh yeah, because she's petting the dog. Just telling you. All right. Well, I guess if he wants to come in, now he's just playing dead. You know, we'll continue. So it's 1981. I'm more serious about karate. I'm in Taft High School now. We're living here on 61st and Park Avenue. And what do you notice about my commitment now to karate? And I'm working out in this front of the mirror.
We're every day doing musical forms, and I didn't know anything about musical forms until I saw him doing all these moves and stuff like that. And every day, I mean, he would be here day and night, and he'd be quiet at nighttime because I would be sleeping.
Yeah,
and
don't
he
wake
wouldn't
my
make no
mama.
noise.
I would jump up and then land softly
Softly.
because it would shake the room. So you see that I'm a little more serious. And I'm throwing these techniques.
A lot more serious. And winning a lot, bringing home a lot of trophies.
How about when I started teaching downstairs?
Oh yes, I started teaching downstairs in the community center. It was a daycare center.
Yeah, the Head Start.
Mm-hmm.
Sharon Baptist Head Start.
They had a few students. Well, how old? You were like 17?
Yeah.
16,
What happened, the first time I started, I was 16 years old, right before I became a father. And then just after I became a father.
And you were teaching downstairs, and you had quite a few students, right?
Yeah, probably the most well-known will be Gene Boogie Frazier, who started training
Oh, he
there.
started there also, Fraser?
Yep. And Marcus the Ox Martinez, and my brother, Instructor Torres, I was there too.
Mm-hmm.
But and then I started teaching martial arts at what would have been an abandoned building in Boston Road on the second floor of a garage. And we bought weights. That's when Fabian was part of my...
Fabian, yes.
Yeah, Fabian Curry. He did a movie called The Latin Dragon. You know. But it's somewhere between there. You went to karate tournaments. What happened when you went to karate tournaments? What do you notice then? I was a young guy. I was fighting a lot of older people.
Older people, yes, you were.
Older and stronger and so on and so forth. But I came at them like...
After they attacked. Very aggressive.
Yeah, what's my nickname? The whole thing.
Oh, fearless, fast feet, Fontanez.
See, why you gave me that nickname?
Because of your legs. I noticed you were very fast with your legs. And also, and you didn't want the Fearless. You said that's too many F's.
They're gonna make fun of me.
No,
Last name is Fontanez.
Fontanez.
So we went and got the letters and I put
Iron
first
it
name
on.
Fast, last name Fee. She actually ironed it on for me, and I put that on the back of my uniform. But I wrote, but I said I'm always gonna be fearless. You know, you can't
Yes.
be a pendejo, you can't be a sucker, you can't be a fool. Otherwise, they're gonna take advantage of you coming from, you know, the Bronx and Spanish, so actually South Bronx to Spanish Harlem. And we lived in a neighborhood. What was the neighborhood that I lived in? My block was bank robbers.
Yeah, Sheridan, yes. Well, when we first moved there, it was a beautiful neighborhood, right? And
Roxy's Mansion.
Roxy Mansion. It
On
was
the
beautiful. But
64th.
as time
Roxy
passed,
Street.
like
Sure.
in 7 years into living there, that's when all of a sudden everything changed, right? That fast.
Yeah.
We lived there, it was quiet, you know, and then all of a sudden, like the whole neighborhood started changing.
Yeah.
So that's when I wanted to move further uptown.
But in the interim, we used to play, playing everything with a ball. That was another truth. You give me a ball and give us a ball and we played off the point, off the curb, all that stuff.
Asking everybody that passed by, what time is it? What time is it?
Yeah,
They would say, oh, how'd you go to karate school? And they would say, karate fever boy, and they'll tease them.
Yeah. But they were around the block. They didn't want to show me. When they said karate fever boy, I could hear them, but I couldn't see them because they knew that I would come kick their butt. So when I went to do that, someone used to go rob banks. And then we would meet up afterwards. And
they were that young robbing banks?
yeah,
Wow.
14, 15, 16
Wow,
years
that's
old.
horrible.
You know, the 18-year-olds were the old guys. Remember, back then?
But he never paid that no money. I mean, you know, like never followed with anybody.
Heck no.
No,
I wasn't allowed to follow.
no.
You know, your parents say to you, don't be a follower, be a leader. Or I had to
All
be
the
a
time.
follower, I had to be a real leader, no joke. Let's just talk about, let's go to Spanish Harlem for a second and talk about my grandmother, Santa Cruz. Rest in
Wow.
peace, my grandma. Now, people joke around, I say that my grandmother was a good fighter, but was she really a good fighter?
Yeah, she was. There was a time when she was younger, she used to box. Her brother also. My uncle used to box. And
And she also
She
had a
was-
choke. Remember, she used to put men to sleep with her?
She used to be a sparring partner, my uncle's sparring partner, my mother. And yes, she used to love wrestling also. And she used to put people in a choke. She was a strong lady.
A real naked choke, and she put them to sleep.
Yes, she did.
She had stab wounds also going against men.
Man, fight.
There
Yeah,
wasn't
when she
no
was
women?
younger in the island, yes. When she used to work, they used to try and rob or whatever, and she used to confront people, so she had some.
Yeah, but then when she came to New
She had
York,
some scars,
she
yeah.
had social clubs.
Oh, yes, yes.
There was one point she had 350 members, she told me. So this was a black woman that doesn't
And
speak
she was an
English.
entrepreneur. She was. That's how she used to pay her bills. She was an entrepreneur.
She said the jukebox paid me from jukebox company in the
Yeah,
billet, from a billet and from here.
Yes, and the liquor. They used to bring the liquor.
She was my motivation for business too. I think that might have been where I got my inspiration.
And then she had no education, and she used to know how to run a
What
business.
grade she was? I think
I
like
don't
third or
even
fourth,
know.
third
I
or
don't
fourth
even-
grade. I think she
But
told
she
me.
didn't have much of an
Yeah.
education, but she knew how to run a business.
She was no joke. Like she also used to take me to the kung fu movies. What? On Sundays, I used to go see the kung fu movies with my grandmother right there in Harlem. Apollo Theater was a movie theater also, and oh my God, so she loved the kung fu. I only took her to tournament one time. She had to leave because she got too serious. I know she was ready to stab somebody. I mean, for real.
Because they're not fair. They're cheaters in the current tournaments. They got favoritism. And they don't see, they can't see the points, you know, when you score, they don't really see.
I remember going to a karate tournament, coming from Taekwondo, being real respectful, and then we went to a tournament that was open tournament. That was like a ghetto, it was crazy. And my mother pointed out a few guys there that were drug addicts and had some, you know, she knew them from the streets, and they were there as big masters, but she's like, well, that guy there is cheating you because, you know, you're not part of their gang, and remember that?
Where was this at?
That was in a tournament in Harlem. So again, the point is that, all right, so fast forward to when we opened up all the karate schools.
Well, we opened up the karate schools, well, I was in Boynton. In this school, we had to work hard in this school because it was just like a warehouse. So I even had people do the windowsills and everything because they had nothing. It was very difficult. He was busy with Manhattan, right? During the time I was in the
Yeah, we
Boynton
had
school,
Bronx, Brooklyn,
in
Queens,
the
and
Brooklyn
Manhattan.
school, and then we had two in the Bronx. One in Queens, one in Brooklyn, and one in Manhattan. That was 5, right? And We were just so busy. Because everybody wanted Jerry to be teaching. How he's going to be teaching in 5 different schools. You know, he couldn't even teach in one school because he was so busy running around and doing all this stuff. But we had good instructors. And you would be there as much as you could, right?
Yeah, my whole thing was that I opened up those additional schools because I felt bad that people were traveling. I mean, Exotic was coming all the way from Brooklyn, you know, and these guys were black belts already, some of them were, so I started just making it easier for them to train without having to travel because the curriculum worked.
Yes.
Even though I had some crazy uniforms and things that most people...
During the time it was crazy uniforms, because the uniforms they got now, they're ridiculous. But during the time, you know, we had color. We put color in our uniforms and style. Now they have them, I mean, some crazy colors, but I think he was the first one that, the first one that I seen that had all those nice, you know, different stars and stripes and this and that.
Yeah, well, the Stars and Stripes was a uniform that actually was there, but still, to have a Stars and Stripes was like huge, right? But the thing with me was that I went and got a Century uniform that had 2 black stripes, and then my mom, of course, washed it, and the stripes became gray. And then I turned around and I dyed the uniform, and I tried to dye red, but I only used 1 10 times.
It came out pink.
It came out pink. Yeah, it was peach.
Like a peach.
Yeah,
but
pink
you
peach.
a lot. That was like his lucky uniform.
Yeah, but it became a new thing, and I had another one which became lavender, and then we used to also get uniforms, regular student uniforms, and just put a red stripe down the leg, and now it looked better already. So if you have a white pair of pants with a red stripe down the leg and a red top with a white stripe, that became a team uniform.
I have all my uniforms there. I have a whole stack of them. Oh, a lot of you blue, green, not green, blue, white, red.
It's red, white, blue, and then we had the staff uniforms. We would have the Stars and Stripes uniforms, and we used to mix and match, you know, those colors.
According to the day.
According to the day.
Everybody had to dress the same. We had that.
So most people had no idea that we had, even though we taught classes, it was A, B, and C days. That means it was fighting, forms, self-defense. And it cycled. So at 4 o'clock was the fighting class, and the next class would have been self-defense.
There was 1 early in the morning for people that work.
Yeah, we had the daytime classes too.
Early
With a lot of people there too. And that's with guys like Tony from TK and Joe Cisco and a bunch of other people. You know, we had families that got black belts. You know, mother with daughter and son. You know, father with daughter and son.
All families there. That's why Anna says, Shrub's mother says that it was like a family. Because when, you know, like, sometimes the parents would come late to pick up their children, and they would stay with me in the office. I would have, you know, so they knew that they didn't have to rush. I have to go pick up my child, cries, so it's okay. You know, they were with me. So it was a good thing. We
had some tragedies in the school too that were resolved in terms of Alicia Jameson. You know, she got. Remember when that happened?
Yes. Somebody snatched her, this maniac, this man that was killing young girls. And she said that she kicked him in the stomach, but actually she kicked him in the groin. And it's private parts, and she got away, she ran. Yeah. And we had taught them that same week, I think we had those lessons that...
Yeah, there was a white van that was grabbing kids. One of them got murdered, you know, a few. At least one, Jessica, I forgot her last name.
Yes, there's a big...
There's a big murder in Castle Hill. And so she was able...
She survived him.
So as soon as she came back, the next day she was a lifetime member. Cause we got some lifetime members, including Steve Dubois Cats and people like that. Yeah, we got lifetime members in the school. When we started doing the Black Book Club, people had no idea what that was, and even though I didn't invent it, but we just took it to the next level. The demo team, like camera action music, and just eventually we had our own little cable TV show back in 1994. Did 24 episodes of that, and we started promoting tournaments and shows, you know, and then coming out on TV. And my son was my dance partner. So about BJ for a minute. You know, he used to come from Puerto Rico, and he used to just jump in there
and do his stuff, like if he was there all year through. And he was such a little thing, you know, and he's dancing, and he would look forward to coming and Christmas also. For Christmas he was here also, just so he could
taking every class, right?
Every class, every class.
And he started becoming a pretty good teacher. And I was proud because it wasn't like my son was just the instructor's son that everyone didn't
No.
like, because he was
They liked him.
he was a good kid.
Real good kid. But he was like his dad. Jerry was a good kid too. He was.
But it's interesting because the only time I stopped martial arts for a little while was because of baseball one time when I was in the midgets, Morris in the midgets, and then for football where I actually broke my ankle.
Not for too long. He didn't stay out too long.
Not for too long. Okay, so now what happened when I started competing at a higher level when it comes to like Totally Awesome and give me an idea, because I remember one time you said, we have, my brother and I, and my mom's a single parent, she was saying how 2 kids all of a sudden became these big men. But how did it feel that I started competing and actually winning at a higher level? Like, give me some of that feedback.
I was proud. What parent won't be proud if your son is competing and he's positive, right? And then he has these schools and so many people looking up to him. I mean, I was as a matter of fact, I am proud. And I learned also that I became a social worker. I used to work in the school, but so many people used to come over to me and ask me questions and talk to me about their problems. It was not only teaching martial arts, but working there. Yes, it's like we're family, we're social workers, psychiatrists, or everything.
How about when we started working on fire?
Oh wow, that was interesting.
Started adding Tony Robbins, right?
Anthony Robbins seminars. We went to the seminars. It was a lot of fun, and it was motivating.
Even my son was working
he worked on fire also. He kicked on fire. He was kicking off.
We were doing machine gun kicks. He was 8 years old.
Yes.
And we had all the black
ones. A lot of
ones.
stuff.
But people don't realize that personal growth to us was really taking things to the next level. Now, for whatever it's worth, no, I don't even have my GED. But I have people with PhDs work for me. And in 1972, I even spoke in NYU. So what you going to do? And that was the truth. I'm speaking in NYU because my brother wanted to be a rapper, even though the year before that he was showing my rap or my song. And then my other student, I challenged him to do his lifetime dream. What's your lifetime dream and goal? He said, I want to have a record label. So the first artist on the record label was the Nomads, which was one of my students, Q Unique, and my brother, Instructor Torres, and before you know it, they had a song. How about all the other entertainers that were in the school?
Yeah, we had the TKA, we had the Barrio Boys, and a lot more.
Yeah.
That I don't know.
Fresh to one, yeah. It was to the
point where... A lot of students had talent. Yes, they did.
How about Renelli?
Renelli was a little boy that... Now he's a grown man, but he was very, very
2 years old when he started.
And he used to do all the forms and everything like a grown-up. And he's a little thing like this.
And he was fighting.
Everything.
And he was too, so his little sister was in the carriage, and by the time she was maybe 2 years old, she was in the class too.
Yeah.
I always thought that the limitations of the instructor is what stopped him. It wasn't the student. So people say, oh, students they're just not the same no more. No, you freaking idiots, the instructors still are. Okay, that's the problem. You didn't know how to articulate a subject matter so like that you can disseminate it to people of all ages. And if you know what I'm saying, look it up.
That's true.
Just because you don't have formal education doesn't mean you can't expand your horizons. One of the biggest challenges that I had, and I still have right now, my mom could tell you, is that I've always believed in martial arts being huge, and I wanted to make it big. So I did things that people check him out. Right? Let's talk about that a little, right? Me, based on my standards, what will happen with most people when I would come up with some crazy idea?
I think you're insane. They would think, like it's impossible. Right? Saying it's impossible. And now we're seeing it. Now, everything I used to say, like back in, like more than 30 years ago, is happening now. And now martial arts is what you said?
Yeah, now officially karate's in the Olympics.
I remember we talking about that.
Yeah, of course. Now, when you just finished watching the little documentary I did about 20 years ago, what you thought about that? Wasn't that saying the truth?
Yes.
I just say, today I just show you a photo of 4 people that were on the stage, and I asked you, what do you think these people were doing? What do you thought they were doing?
I thought they were going to have a Frankfurter eating contest or a hamburger eating contest. Because they were so out of shape, I didn't know that they were Instructors or
Instructors and coaches of
Coaches.
national karate team.
personally, if I go to a karate school and I see an instructor like that, I wouldn't enroll my child. I'm supposed to lead by example, you know. And these people are totally out of shape and obese. It's obesity, you know. It's not right. To me, perhaps I'm wrong, but I wouldn't enroll my child in a karate school where I see the instructor come wobbling out of the office, you know, and sometimes even eating, or because I heard that happens also. They come out eating and a lot of stuff, which is not right.
Now, how about when I actually let you see some of the fights today? What happened?
They were like little girls.
And isn't that what I said?
And
in the
they're
video?
running, they run from the other guy. They go, ah! And I'm like, but what did they do? They were running and they were raising their hand like they scored something. I don't understand.
You know, this is the thing. Most of my students and even the parents, if they were judges today, they're the best judges, because in the school where you sat there, everyone learned.
Yes.
So they knew what the technique was.
Mm-hmm.
They knew that if the kick went in, there's a point. If it wasn't, they
Of course.
right. But today, what was happening?
What was happening? There's nothing happening. They just don't do nothing right to me. It's ridiculous. It's a shame, you know, what they do to what they did with the martial arts.
There was a lot of top, and there's another thing too.
It's
There's
speechless.
a lot of top fighters that we looked up to, that I loved
Yes,
as a
of
fan,
course,
right?
of course.
But then we started seeing some of the transitions, and what one of the biggest things you know that they knew from the top fighters before,
Without scoring.
making believe they scored the point.
I can believe it.
So in other words, they were what?
Cheating.
Cheating, lying.
Cheating. It's bad enough that the judges most of the time don't see when you score. That's aggravating. And then on top of that, the person you're fighting is making believe that he scored without scoring. You know, come on. It's ridiculous.
And that's supposed to be men of honor.
Hello?
In the meantime, I'm the idiot. If you guys ever notice, it's just the truth.
It has a big mouth.
Well, I say the truth. If someone scores on me, I give them credit.
Of course, why not?
I thank the person who scores on me because it shows the weakness in my defense. What do you think about the fact that I'm starting to train now again?
Oh, great, because that gives other people the initiative to also start and come back and show their abilities. Real martial arts.
Yeah, on that note, we're going to leave it like that because it's so said and done. Maybe I'm crazy, but I want you guys to get a little perspective and understand why, I say, I still got to win the fight, and I don't want her to come and kick my butt afterwards. And some of you guys may appreciate this. If someone fights in the street situation, right? Because karate tournaments is not fighting, there's rules. Even MMA, which I've had my mom watch some MMA. Let's talk about MMA for a second.
I love it, the way they, I love it. I love it, man. The aggressiveness.
And what did you say if you was younger?
I would do it. Definitely. I would fight MMA. Because I like it.
What's your
You
favorite?
could kick and punch and do so much, And there's like no.
The first person I ever seen.
Rules, I don't see
There's rules where they allow. You can't gouge the eyes, you can't bite.
no.
So in a street situation,
Yeah,
you
you
can
could
do
do
that.
that.
But I think the first person I ever seen use the knees like that was my mother in the street fight one time. So you like the
But
knees.
that can't be normal. The knee. I mean, if you see yourself in a position that the person is bigger than you and you can bring them down, why not knee them, right? I mean, it's automatic.
But not for some people, because some people run.
Oh, no,
That's not an option.
No, you sidestep. No, run.
And that's what happens. People expected me to run away from the guys who were threatening me in the fights. And you can watch videos right now.
Use your footwork. You have to use your footwork. Not run.
Now, footwork, can dancing help with that?
Yes, definitely.
Alright, the dog has an attitude. Everyone
dog
has
is
an
barking out
attitude. Listen, so guys, I just want you to get a little perspective of why I think the way I think. I was brought up by warrior women, and that's the reason why. The dog is barking. I'm not sure why.
Hey,
But
what's wrong?
when it comes down to it, I believe the best is yet to come. I could be wrong, but I'm gonna be giving some more insights on how I trained and why I trained, and this might be offensive to some people, but it's offensive to me when I'm compared to people. Mom, when people compare me to other martial artists, it bothers me. Because if they walk around looking like that,
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to be be compared to that.
There are some good martial artists out
That's
there.
phenomenal ones. But a lot of them just aren't doing their thing, and I want to inspire them to please come back and meet you guys.
Yes.
I'm a fan. You know, I have some people that are training right now, and you know, time would tell if I'm just a crazy old guy that's trying to just hold on to the past. But
You're just doing what you like to do, your passion. And you want to bring other people, and it's something positive, it's not like it's a negative. And you bring other people with you that you know that they're capable of doing it. Why not?
see, because I think that what's happening is that we don't have a platform for us to exercise what we believe in. You know, if a kick had a lock the knee and now the knee's bent, see, they give a point now the knee's bent now. That's supposed to be a kick. And they call it a short kick. And so if they don't give, a short kick. So if they
That's a new
don't,
thing?
it's been around for a little while, for like the last one. When I did that other documentary, it was me noticing the tendencies, like a technique happening like this, and they were giving points for stuff like that. You know, the karate tournaments are run by the gangs. The gangs are the teams. So like the guy was saying, they sit around the ring and they yell and intimidate the judges. When before would be stop time, shut up, or we're going to disqualify.
Yeah, exactly.
The judges
Discipline.
the judges have been taking away all the power that they had to actually govern or police the situation has been taken away. Now a center referee will be yelled at and no one says anything, and when the guy says, why you letting him yell at me? Well, I don't want him mad at me because he won't bring his team to my tournament.
Wow.
These are the words that I'm hearing. No one talks about this stuff, and it's sad because we are all suffering.
There's been a
Because
hypocrite. There's a lot of hypocrisy. That's what it
they
is.
change in history too, man.
So,
Well, I heard, I read in one of the posts that I really had never done anything.
oh my Lord.
No, this is what the guy wrote. Oh, he was good for a little while. He really had never done anything in martial arts. And the guy that wrote that, I know who he is.
And I got packs of magazine articles that he's in, and also newspaper articles.
Well, what I'm saying is that I think that whatever I did back then, I didn't really know what I was doing as compared to now.
You just
where
having fun and you were young.
I know what to do now, and I still have the enthusiasm, passion, and desire to do it.
Do it.
You know, I'm on my way getting in. I don't think age is the problem. The problem is just being out of shape. So it happens that being out of shape and time goes hand in glove. So if you've been out of shape 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, you can blame it on old. But no, it's the amount of time I haven't been in shape. So you can reverse that. Have you noticed in the last few weeks what's happened with me?
Yes, you've lost a lot of weight.
I gain it and I lose it according to how I want. Right?
And you're eating better, much better.
Nutrition is key.
Nutrition.
You know, one of the things that some of the guys that family and friends, you know, I warn you, don't start training without taking care of nutrition. Further, you'll probably get a heart attack.
Yes, definitely. You have to have your protein and your salads and the proper meals.
And supplementation. You know, we take vitamins and we take meal replacements, and I make sure I notice I've been resting as much as possible.
Enough sleep.
Does anybody have to get me up to go train?
No.
Yeah, so someone has to be the general or the trainer. You can't make an excuse and say, well, my wife didn't wake me up and my brother didn't. No. Most of you guys are so out of shape that when you say you don't have time,
It's embarrassing.
it's embarrassing. When you say you don't have time, 20 minutes of working out, you probably can't even last that long. You don't have time, you can't even last 20 minutes before getting a heart attack. That, you know, sad, but that's what I believe. And it has nothing to do with age, because there's people that are half my age right now that look older than me.
And they're very ill too. A lot of people are very sick.
The people that want to have these things need to have energy. Right? So before they even
Remember
start,
what was happening with me? I had no energy until he gave me the Zen, the project, the fuse. And it was like I had an awakening. Like that movie, The Awakening. It was like I could see everything clearer. I could, everything. I have energy. I want to do this. I want to do that. And before I was just dragging myself.
yeah, so people wake up in the morning, they say, hey, I want to go do this, and I want to do that. And they have
No
their coffee.
energy.
They have their coffee. And
No,
they
not
crash.
coffee. Have some fuse.
Yeah. Well, fuse is the protein, but the point is that if you properly nourish your body, it increases the possibility that you'll be able to perform. So to perform at a high level while having nutrition makes no sense whatsoever. The Olympics are going on right now. Those people are eating all types of supplementation in order to increase their
Yeah.
performance level. So for the average person not to do it, I think it's kind of crazy. And you know, we're gonna.
They never taught nutrition, right, in martial arts.
In the meantime, the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu family has the Gracie nutrition, the Gracie diet. In Shaolin Temple, they also have a diet. All the other things, all the other styles, they diet. I don't know if it's fast food. It might be sumo diet or something like that.
Wow. No.
Standards must be kept at the highest level possible. And anything else you want to say, man? Is 67 old?
67 young. No, not 67 years
Right,
old,
right.
67.
Yeah, because, right, I have 67 years. Jack Lane was 97 when he passed. If Jack Lane was a martial artist at 80
Wow.
something, 90
He
something,
would've
he
been
would have been
going
kicking people's rear. I want to be, and I think you could be, and many of us could be like Jack Lane. Don't make any excuses. Nourish yourself properly, rest, educate yourself on options, and then you'll be able to at least be informed to make better decisions. Without
Perform
that,
better.
without that, that's, your performance level doesn't go. At the cellular level, the body can actually get younger, and exercise is part of it. Nutrition and exercise and mindset, environment, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Without that, and I mean, I feel young as ever right now. My passion and desire, love. Do you feel better now
Yes.
than a year ago?
Of course.
Than 3 years
Of
ago?
course.
5 years ago? And all of us have gone through ups and
Of
downs.
course. Mhm.
But the truth is that the best is yet to come if you apply yourself. The personal power means the ability to take information and take action with it. You know, not just to be an intellectual derelict, you know, or someone that walks around like you said, like the grimace, or you know. I spoke to someone the other day. Yesterday, he said he was walking around like 9 months pregnant. He said, I'm only 3 months pregnant now, but I was 9 months before. That was Carlos from Sheridan. In other words, we can all reverse time by just getting back in shape. And that's about it. All right, guys, when I say AB, you know what to
Yeah.
say. AB, we out of here.